call the Village of Midlothian board meeting for April 27th, 2016 to order at 7 p.m. Roll call.
Trustee Gillis. Here. Trustee Ivan.
Here.
Trustee Killily.
Here.
Trustee Kreis.
Here.
Trustee LaRue.
Here.
Trustee Moskal.
Here.
Mayor Ryback.
Here.
You have a quorum.
Please stand for the pledge, and after the pledge, remain standing for a moment of silence for our veterans. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. At this time, I will open the floor to public comment. If you'd like to address the board, now would be your time to do so. Yes.
Valerie Weiskirk. I was absent last week, as it was pretty evident, but I had my wonderful camera standing here. So at least I was able to catch some video, but I must also confess, I've only watched 6 minutes total, and it took me 45 minutes to get through those 6 minutes because of all the ideas that were flying through my head that I was inspired with. And it was in connection with this whole bond issue kind of thing. So first on my list, Mayor Ryback, I would like to request of you, please begin recording the phone conversations between you, John George, whoever these mysterious bond counsels are. At this point, I'm even wondering if there's 3. The 2 that I'm aware of are Chapman and Cutler and Ice Miller. They need to be clearly identified every single time you discuss them from this point on, not just to clear confusion here in the public, but to make sure that your coworkers in the Board of Trustees also can follow this storyline that you apparently have been trying to lead on that you haven't been very successful with. Clerk Kolstad, you definitely need to go ahead and you need to learn how to update and upload documents immediately to the website. House Bill 5522 is most likely going to pass. There are 14 items that are about to become mandatory on the village website, and we are way behind. It is your job and has been your job since day one, and you have yet to do it in almost any capacity. Please get together with Carl Ivan, who is the head of the technology committee, and figure out and learn something and get the job done. Alan Moskal, in regards to you mentioning the testing of the financial statements being needed, I just want to refresh with you something I brought up before with you, in that I don't feel that we've been getting honest audits anyway, that I don't feel McGladrey and Pullen, Crow Horwath, any of these companies have been actually auditing whether or not it went out to bid or not, whether or not it's in the board meeting minutes and it was actually board approved. We could have avoided many a messes if those testings had occurred, and I don't know if it was in the contract, which is why I'm refreshing it at least with you. And as for the management reports, Trustee Kreis, that you mentioned that you poured over numerous times and couldn't find one mention, I sure would appreciate consideration of not only those reports being published immediately to the internet, but once again getting together with the technology committee head, setting up a very specific section dedicated on the website to this bond issue, to bring it to an end once and for all. Everything from the management report, as you're suggesting, you've already gone through their public documents, the actual bonds themselves, which I've only been able to find 2 online so far, they need to be available through our website, and now. I am so beyond confused, torn, dismayed, beside myself. Because it's not like I'm not trying to follow and be fair and understand and try to help. But when this kind of 6 minutes worth of craziness, truth, lie, lie, truth, going all over, it ends, please, tonight. It has to. The village cannot take any more of this, and that was only 6 minutes that I endured. There's people here who really made it the full 3 hours, and I must say you guys have my admiration. I don't think I could have done it. I think I would have left. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else? Yes.
Evelyn Gleason, 35 Billy Casper. I was at the committee meeting last week, and I was dismayed by the way an employee was treated by Trustee Ivan. I can't believe that I work in a public agency. I've served on many boards, and I think all of you know better than to bring an employee in public on camera and just, she went through 30 minutes of just being berated. I can't think of a better word. And most people up there sat silent while this went on. I would like to believe that nothing like this would ever happen again, but I see tonight on the agenda that Trustee LaRue has a resolution in an attempt to humiliate Mayor Ryback, who I admit is a personal friend of mine. I'm thinking maybe this board only picks on women. Wrong. We have a resolution, I've not seen it, but I know the intent is for Trustee LaRue to become Mayor LaRue, to force Mayor Ryback to step down. Hopefully she's strong enough not to do that. And that would then allow Trustee LaRue's seat to be open so he could appoint somebody. What I really find just tasteful in all of this is that a lot of this is being orchestrated by Larry Ryan, who doesn't even live in this state, much less. You go ahead and laugh, Vale, but you know, it's the truth, like it or not. So I would ask that, I know the board has hired or asked Tom Dart's office to come in previously, and it was not done with a resolution be rating. In that case, it was the board that was being checked on regarding the bonds, but there was no resolution chastising each one of the board members. So I would ask that this be done in the same manner. If you want to investigate something, that's certainly your right, but it doesn't require you to publicly humiliate another human being. Yes.
Jean Bartecki, 150-49 Pulaski. I have two concerns about that meeting last week. One, I think maybe the board should announce all cell phones to be put on silent at the beginning of meetings, because cell phones did go off 2 or 3 times during the meeting. Two, a resident, after the altercation between Trustee Ivan and Maureen Potempa, and Maureen went into the office area, a resident, not a village employee, not just a resident, got up and followed her in there. All this talk with Trustee Ivan about closing off areas so that residents don't have access to the places, the offices, that was broken by this resident getting up and going. So I think that should be addressed. But the phone call, the phones being silenced is a really must. Thank you.
Is there anyone else who'd like to address the board? With no further, I'm sorry.
Hi, my name is Carol Fox. I live over at 144th in Cluster. And I wanted to bring up about the water bills. The water bill that I get at my house is more than my gas and electric bill together. It's just me in a small house. And I've had people come and look and try and help me like with plumbing, and there's nothing that's leaking. But I have found that I have ended up having to go to St. Vincent de Paul and other places to get help with those. I don't understand why this bill is so high and so crippling. It's higher than any other bill that I pay. And when I've gone to the village hall and asked for help, I've been met with a lot of sarcasm, and that it's just too bad. I feel very put down. I'm almost 60 years old. They have some young girl tell me that it's just too bad, that I'm not responsible enough to put the money aside, you know, when I end up going to places like Together We Cope to get food. I'm trying to do the best I can, and you know, then they tack on another $50 here, another $50 there, and it's like, if you can't pay it to begin with, then it's adding another $100. I mean, right now, St. Vincent de Paul, they paid my water bill for this month, and I just got a letter saying my water's going to be shut off because I didn't pay the extra $50 that they tacked on. And so, at this point, I really don't know what to do. I feel very sad that that has to happen here. You know, that someone, myself, I've been here almost 30 years, and I just feel like I'm being crippled by the town and forced to go somewhere else that I can afford. It's ridiculous to have a $300 every 3 months water bill when it's just me and my dog, and I work full time. So I'm finding it very, very difficult to survive here and to not feel like I'm just poor bag when I worked so hard for what I have.
I appreciate your comments. I don't know your case firsthand, but I will look into it first thing tomorrow when I get into the office.
And if I could make a suggestion, we have Treasurer Britton here. She may be able to help you, Mrs. Fox, if you could contact her. You may have penalties on your bill, and if you could work with Treasurer Britton to get up on set up on a payment plan so that your penalties get paid off, and they can work with you so that those to reduce the amount of penalties that are being assessed. And I think she can help you. Is that correct, Treasurer?
Are you the
I am
treasurer?
she, yes. Would you be able to call me tomorrow?
I work from 8 to 4:30 at the company, so I call you maybe on my lunchtime or after work. Are you available?
I am available all day.
Okay, good.
So
I'll
call.
get your number. Thank you.
Thanks for your suggestion, Karen. With no further comment from the public, I will close the floor. And trustees, I'd be looking for a motion for the consent agenda. This evening's consent agenda consists of the bill list, the minutes from the board meeting from March 9th, the minutes from the executive session from March 9th, the minutes from the committee meeting from March 16th, the treasurer's report for March 2016, not 2000, whatever I put. The department reports for March for the fire department, building department, police department, and public works.
I'll make the motion.
I will second.
Roll call.
Trustee LaRue.
Aye.
Trustee Price.
Aye.
Trustee Gillis.
Aye.
Trustee Ivan.
Aye.
Trustee Killily.
Aye.
Trustee Moskowitz.
Aye.
Motion carried.
We'll move on to trustee business. Trustee Crockett.
Mayor, could I just make a statement? We did have missing the fuel report from the building department and the health department report. So I will make sure that it's in with next month's report.
Okay, so you're missing the health report and the fuel report. Thank you. Okay, I'm sorry. Trustee Price.
I know you might find it hard to believe I don't have a number of items under my agenda, but all I have this evening are a couple of updates. I did get information from the attorney, which I forwarded to the board on the VFW situation. I will have that as a discussion item on the agenda next week, so we can discuss it and try to craft a plan. I don't know if anybody has any questions or comments for Mr. Gleason, Attorney Gleason, while he's here this evening. If not, I will have it as an agenda item next week and we can begin to discuss it. I will be attending the monthly enterprise zone meeting at South Suburban Mayors and Managers tomorrow morning. And Superintendent DeSimone, I need to bring you up to date on the enterprise zone. You are going to be the contact, okay?
Yes.
I will bring you up to date on that. Couple meetings that are also on the agenda. Next Thursday, we will have our Natalie Creek Steering Committee meeting at 10 a.m. And next Friday is one I am very, very excited about. We will have our kickoff meeting with Chicago Metropolitan Agency for Planning on our local technical assistance program for the 147th Street project. And I have been told they will be bringing in Christopher Burke Engineering to work on stormwater on that project. So those are all the updates I have. Oh, and I have one legal question. Illinois Department of Transportation draft agreements for the RTA Access to Transit grant were sent to the mayor and clerk for execution. They were not sent to me. Do those need to come in, Attorney Gleason, and be approved by the board? They do. Okay, so Engineer Koza, since they weren't sent to me, I did not put them on the agenda. They didn't make it, so they will have to be on the next agenda. Okay, and then once those are approved by the board, that's the $980,000 for the downtown improvements. Then Engineer Koza, I believe, will make sure they are hand carried to IDOT. And there's all I have this evening.
Thank you. Trustee Ivan.
Thank you, Mayor. I'd like to make a motion for the approval of the sewer lining bid recommendation for public work. from Instaform Technology, which was the low bidder.
I'll second.
Any discussion? Roll call.
Trustee Ivan.
Aye.
Trustee Maskell.
Aye.
Trustee Gillis.
Aye.
Trustee Killily.
Aye.
Trustee Kreis.
Aye.
Trustee LaRue.
Aye.
Motion carried.
My second item was the bus shelter location planning. For some reason, the library board voted to not have a bus shelter in front of their building. So far, I haven't instituted or started any planning at all for possible new locations for bus shelters. Once that happens, of course, I'll present it to the board before I make any outward motion or direction to the library board or any other entity that may be involved in the locations of the bus shelter. The third item I had was about the council chambers hallway exit. I got an email from trustee Mazel on the exit door and people standing in the hallway. Basically, the complaint was that they were in the hallway.
My understanding is there were people in the hallway and people accessed the village hall offices
Accessing the
during the ticket hearing.
When I was here at 7 o'clock, the door to the offices was locked. So I don't know how they could possibly got into the office area unless it was.
There was a worker in the front office that locked. She was up there by herself.
Okay. So, if we have any, did anybody see anybody actually in the office area?
Okay, so here's the problem. Even if they didn't, it can happen. So what's the solution to this? We need some sort of solution to this somehow. So, I mean, the main thing would be, I think you talked about, are there certain ways of making that entrance to the office accessible and still make it secure?
I sent everybody the first estimate that I acquired from Goldilocks to replace the door between the hallway and the inner office area with a coded buzzer push bar door. So that it could be only open in emergencies, and when it was open in emergencies, a loud noise would hopefully go off and attract someone to go look into it, or if there was an emergency situation, that they would follow that direction. And then the other part of the bid concerned this door over here to do the same thing, put a push type door so that people could exit in a rush through there. Because currently you can't do that if it's like if one door is locked and the other's not. So in that bid it included that and the emergency exit signs to light up the way through the office area was also the bid. So I was going to look into getting additional bids because the price I thought was a little high and was only able to get one so far. So that was the direction I was going to go with.
I think in the meantime, I think what they're asking is that the door get put back on, because at least with the door, both doors there, the officer that's here can see when that door opens, he can kind of mental check that there's someone going to the bathroom, come back in, that wasn't happening that night. They were congregating in the hallway and the ramp because it's overflow.
Well, the only problem would be that we'd be in violation of the fire code because it would block the exit ramp and it opens in incorrectly. It opens into the room instead of out of the room. So if you want to bypass the fire code.
Chief, have you thought about picking another venue for the P ticket court? Because every month it's packed. It's either out the door or up to the stairs.
I've seen what they didn't talk about it. But it's always crowded.
Yeah, typically you have people outside standing and waiting to come into the room.
About the radio live or anything?
I don't think it's a possibility. The biggest thing is the computers and stuff that they use, the equipment that they use. Yeah. I guess that would probably be a question for Calvin as well, is what it would take to actually set us up over there for, internet access. There's a lot of stuff they use in-house. They have to look up addresses in village, stickers, and files, and using them. So a lot of times the girls are running up to the front office as well, getting items like that, so it could.
When the renovation was going on here, did you use radio lodge for a short period of time?
I don't recall doing that. Yeah, I don't remember doing that.
There's two parts to this, and I mean, it's a dumb idea as opposed to have two nights for parking tickets. It would cost us twice as much as for the administrator, the magistrate, whatever the person is.
It's a judge.
Paying everybody double, I guess.
Right.
Is what it is.
And then double up your personnel. There's two parts of this, the door and then this. What's the solution to this thing? I mean, that's not a good situation no matter what, I thought about, what about a door that slides sideways, but I don't know what the answer is. I have no idea.
You mean a pocket door?
Like a barn door?
Yeah, something like they have in hospitals, somewhere you walk on a mat and it just opens up.
It has to be a panic push open.
Right. The problem with that door is if you did open it up, it blocks the handicap access ramp, so there's no good. It's supposed to open that way.
Right.
So one of the ideas was leave that door stationary where it locked and then it opened, and just the one door open in, leave that door there. Okay, leave the door that's missing up and get that way. The other problem is you have to have, if marked next and the door's open, that office door has to be open too for somebody out. Otherwise, it's defeat the purpose. If that's locked, you're trapped people. So that's another issue.
Do you need an exit sign at the ramp?
So it's exit. It's right now. It's marked as an exit, and the exit signs lead you out to the front
Oh, okay.
to the village hall. I mean, I think the easiest thing would be to pay an extra person to stay there and make sure the officers don't get access. Say it's officer or something.
Couldn't you just get a part-time security guard? Just sit up here?
Just going to get tickets.
Couple hours.
Couple hours. An extra person.
Until we get ours.
Because we're using it as an exit, it has to be accessible. Some have, they have to be out. They can't go to the locked door.
Leave the one where the door was taken off, leave that locked.
Right.
Leave the other door
Lock it up and
open.
down, right, leave the other edge.
Swing it the right way.
Right. And that would keep the doors, that would take care of the door issue, and the other issue, as long as they exit, you got the front. Whether you want to alarm that door or something, and the computer for accessing it.
Does the building department have any ideas?
I actually do. This is the first time it's been brought to my attention, and I can have a solution within just a few hours. As long as we have a sufficient egress of 36 inches, we're okay. So that configuration can be retrofitted
Okay.
to be code compliant and safe, most importantly.
Well, thank you. I'm looking forward to finding what this solution could be. My other two items I just rolled together, basically. The garden walk flyer has been updated by the beautification committee and is available on this table, as well as the village cleanup flyer is also, the new revised one is available on the table. And that concludes my discussion.
Trustee Gillis.
Oh, yes, just some code violation updates. If you haven't noticed today, the south wall of Dollar Tree was being repaired with the facial bricking that was coming down. Superintendent DeSimone addressed it last week, and they got on it really quick, so that was good to see. We also had some dumpster issues with some buildings that had multiple evictions that caused an overflow in dumpsters. I believe they were given us sufficient time to have the extra dumpster empty, and I don't believe they did, so they were ticketed. Some of the other new construction updates, Midlothian storage. Sprinkler fitters are working on the second floor. They're putting the third floor roof on or fourth floor on today. So they're got the construction crew and the sprinkler fitters going, so they're moving quite rapidly on that. As I stated last week in a committee meeting, the MWRD permits that were pulled for the fees, fees were waived by per board's direction for the Natalie Creek project, which I believe drilling has started. I did mention about the health report, and I will make sure that that doesn't happen again with them not being in with the other reports. Some pending applications that are waiting for final inspections. We have 6 or 7 of them. Most of them are gambling cafes. There is Shelley's Hot Slots, 4702 on 47th Street. Tia Lord Star Look, 14669 on 47th. That is a cosmetic and skincare business. Joker's Wild, 4459 on 47th. Tiffany's LLC, 4736 on 47th. Those two are gaming cafes, as is Debbie's Cafe, 3318 on 47th. Value Zone Furniture, which is going in where the old furniture store was at 144th and Pulaski, 14424 Pulaski. They'll be selling furniture and mattresses. And video gaming place, Johnny L, 4704 on 47th Street, which will be selling soft drinks, alcohol, and snacks. I also was looking into the Floodplain Management Association. They start the membership starting May 1st for 2016. I would like to recommend 2 individuals from the building department and 2 individuals from Public Works. It's $25 per municipal employee. There's a lot of important information that comes out of that membership. So I will bring that up at committee and have the application so we can discuss it further at next board meeting.
Is that the Illinois Association, IAFSM?
Yes.
Okay, that's a great organization. I think Superintendent Sperry and Engineer Kosa can attest to that. I get their emails now, and they do provide a wealth of information.
Yeah, there's a monthly newsletter that comes out, and there's all kinds of conferences and training information on there. Unfortunately, there is no training that's close to the rest of this fiscal year, but I'm sure as the year progresses, we'll have the end of the year information. That's all I have.
Okay, thank you. Trustee LaRue.
Yes, ma'am. We spoke last week in committee to send, asking to send firefighter paramedic Rick Lima to the TNT school in Wisconsin. The TNT are the hydraulic tools consisting of exactly what, Chief? The cutter?
Cutters, spreaders, wedges, the rams that we use for education, things like that.
At this point, we're paying $1,100 a year to keep these things working, to maintain them. And by sending Rick Lima to the firefighter Lima to the school, we can do the maintenance and service in-house. So we're gonna, I'm asking for approval to send Rick Lima, firefighter paramedic Rick Lima to TNT school in Ashburn, Wisconsin, and not to exceed $360. And that will include the school and the night stay, or two-night stay.
I'll second.
Any discussion? Roll call.
Trustee LaRue?
Aye.
Trustee Gillis?
Aye.
Trustee Iden?
Aye.
Trustee Killily?
Aye.
Trustee Kreis?
Aye.
Trustee Maskell?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Thank you. Everyone was given a copy of the resolution that's on the agenda. It's a resolution authorizing the Office of Independent Inspector General of the Village of Midlothian to investigate specific matters. And I'd like to ask for approval for that tonight. Make a motion to approve that resolution tonight.
I'll second. Any discussion? Roll call.
Trustee LaRue?
Aye.
Trustee Kreis?
Aye.
Trustee Gillis?
Aye.
Trustee Iden?
Aye.
Trustee Killily?
Aye.
Trustee Maskell?
Aye.
Motion carried.
We also spoke last week about the firework permit for the Midlothian Country Club for July 3rd. There were some issues that I think we got cleared up, so I'm asking for approval tonight for the outdoor pyrotechnical fireworks display at the Midlothian Country Club on July 3rd, commencing at 9:15 p.m.
I'll second it.
Discussion?
Trustee LaRue?
Aye.
Trustee Ivan?
Aye.
Trustee Gillis?
Aye.
Trustee Killily?
Aye.
Trustee Kreis?
Aye.
Trustee Maskell? Aye. Motion carried.
Thank you. Chief Hotmartin asked me to inform the board that they had to do, or going to have to do an emergency repair on one of the stretchers. Unfortunately, the head section non-power load component broke at a call. Luckily, a patient was not on the stretcher. It was empty at the time. So I looked at it, Chief Hotmartin showed it to me, and it looked like it had probably been fatigued for some time. So it's going to have to be repaired now. So it's going to cost $100,000, $977. They're going to do the replacement themselves in-house, but the part alone is $977. I can't really describe the whole thing, but it's integral to the stretcher being loaded onto the ambulance with the patient on it. You could, like,
Yeah, that's it, and it's one of the older park actually, not the new one. It's one of the old ones that we bought, we just started transporting. And it's really the part that goes in the ambulance is the two wheels that rest on the ambulance, hold it up while you lift it up and slide it in. So with that being off, it could be dangerous, it could slip, it could fall, so. It's very easy to replace. I talked to the company, that could be ordered part to them. But I just didn't want to wait, I just wanted to get it back in service and keep it safe.
we don't need to approve that?
Just approve it at the next meeting.
Okay. Next week. Next one's a special meeting.
Right.
Okay. I was also given a recommendation by a resident. Since the inception of the consent agenda, we've kind of gotten away from reading the departmental monthly reports. I don't know. I think you brought this up before, Jerry, that we need to at least get some highlights of them. But they get approved before we get to our section of the agenda. I don't know what.
The other option would be just posting online for them.
I talked to Nicole. There's already a spot on the village website to post them. We just never done it. So
I
we could.
sent them to her yesterday, or Monday, when I sent her the agenda.
Well, we wouldn't post it until after we approved it, so I guess after the board meeting, we could, all the departments could send it to Nicole and put it on the website.
Because I sent, you know how I sent you guys each I put all the board reports together, I sent them to her.
Right.
When I sent the agenda to be posted. So she should already have that in her possession.
She does, but I guess we need to make her aware that if there's any correction, before we approve them. She
Okay.
needs to add that in, so. Figured somehow we can make this work to get her let her know that it's okay to post those on the website after the Thursday after the board meeting. So, I think I still, maybe we could read some of the, I don't know how that works. It's already approved, so. I don't know, something to think about when we talk about next week's meeting.
Trustee LaRue, if you want to pull them out of the consent agenda, the member has the ability to remove them, so if that's something that you have an interest in, you can do that too. I just don't know.
I mean, I think it was done to expedite meetings and stuff, but we'll talk about next week's meeting, see if there's anything else that we can do about that.
I do think if and we talked about this months ago, getting the monthly reports on the website, I think that would provide residents with the information. It's all there. They can see what the departments are doing. And that was how I responded to that resident. I think we all received the same email, and it's going to be my recommendation that those reports get put on the website.
Okay, and another reminder that the Community Policing Committee and Dare Golf Outing is coming up Saturday, May 21st, at South Hills and also. I'm still looking for golfers and hole spotters. It's $50 a golf and $50 a hole. So if anyone's interested, contact me. I'd be glad to help you out. That's all I have.
Okay, thank you. Trustee Killily?
I'll talk to Nicole about that thing you just brought up. We have two things that are my agenda tonight, tonight's discussion. One is Civic Plus, and I think we've gotten everything we need off of them. Trustee Kreis, as our negotiator, got the basically redesigned fee waived, And they, in the first paragraph, if you look at it, we asked them to insert language in there that was sort of English, not IT. And and they actually expounded on what that meant a little bit so we would understand it. So if that's okay, then we can go ahead and approve the Civic Plus renewal. This isn't for a specific, as I read it, this is not for a specific amount of time. We suggested a 2-year contract renewal. This is just to get the redesign going and sign it for the future that we're on.
I think the contract expires, what, May 1st?
May 1st, something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
Over, this is just for us to read. So if that's okay, Carol, is that okay? Yeah. As you suggested. And with that, I'd like to suggest that we renew the Civic Plus contract for a period of at least a year.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Roll call.
Trustee Coley.
Aye.
Trustee Masko.
Aye.
Trustee Gillis.
Aye.
Trustee Ivan.
Aye.
Trustee Price.
Aye.
Trustee LaRue.
Aye.
Motion carried.
I emailed everybody, I hope everybody got the contract that Attorney Gleason has written up for the HR consultant. However, we're not quite ready to pass that tonight. I have a couple issues to discuss with the board about the contract. A couple of them are hopefully fairly easy. One is the HR consultant wants a retainer of, I believe, $1,900. How does the board feel about that? And basically that's going to be applied to each bill on I guess on a prorated basis, so that it would reduce it by each week's bill. But to start out with, she wants to retain her $1,900.
Curious why she didn't bring that up when she was here, because I don't recall the mention of a retainer initially.
I think in her original proposal it wasn't.
The original was.
Anybody have a problem with that?
That's going to be spent towards.
It's going to be applied towards each
Whatever
week's
cash.
bill, whatever we. Number 2 would be that in the contract there was, we were supposed to be named on the insurance policy of a $1 million, basically comprehensive insurance policy, right, Attorney Gleason? Okay, and she has problems with that for some reason. Has to talk to her insurance provider and attorney, so, without that, I guess we're dead. But we do need that. But we'll have to work on that. Number 3 is the one that is going to be a little mind-boggling here. Originally, the idea was that we would assign projects to her, and she would give us a projected time the project would take, and then we would assign it, and we would know about how much money around is going to be spent on the project, give or take a few hours. For the initial HR audit, which is what you start out with to find out, compliance issues, all sorts of different issues about how you're doing in human resources and are we complying legally? Are our practices through our documents? What's the state of our documents? Do we have them stored properly? All sorts of compliance issues. That's where a human resource person starts. Then they report to us, okay, you're deficient on this, or everything's fine, and we know where to go, and so on and so forth. Well, for that initial audit, she doesn't know how long it's going to take, because if everything's in compliance, it's going to be really short. If everything's not in compliance, then it's going to be a lot longer for her to go through everything and piecemeal and look at every little nook and cranny to figure out what's going on. So she can't give us. That's where we start. She can't give us a time on that as far as how many hours it could take. It might be quick. It might be 40, 60 hours. We don't know. The other issue was that as part of this initial HR audit and compliance, HR and employee audit, she says, she also proposed to interview our employees to get a, as she calls it, a temperature of the employee feeling in for the village, and how things are working out from the employee standpoint. And she feels that's very important for the, to learn a lot of things about how the employees feel about the village, how, to find out if there are any hidden issues that we don't know about, to find out, how, are there things that are stopping people from wanting to be promoted, wanting to advance in the village. And also, if we're successful in making the employees feel good about being here, we can keep employees here, and the longevity, I think the board has expressed that longevity is a big plus for the village. And we can keep employees here a lot longer, and money will not be the only issue. We are obviously not the highest paying village in the whole wide world. We don't have the resources to do that. But if people feel that there are non-monetary issues that are really make them comfortable and want to stay here, then that's a big plus for the village, and she can help find that out. Now, that's going to be, the way I figured, the way she described it, it's going to be another 20 hours to do that, plus whatever it starts here. So, to start this whole ball rolling, what does the board feel we want to do? I mean, in the budget, we can name a figure and say, here, we want to allocate this so much during the year, and that could be good. Does that, if that's the way we want to run it?
I have a comment. She wants to do person-to-person interviews.
Yes.
Would she be able to utilize a survey to, and I know it's not the same as the face-to-face interaction with the body language, but could surveys serve the same purpose?
No.
No, okay.
Well, she can't get you-
Surveys will do, let me rephrase that. Surveys will give her information. It won't be as good as a face-to-face audit. Face-to-face interview will take 15 minutes, but when you're doing probably at least 60 employees.
And face-to-face is a confidential interview.
Yes.
The survey may be able to figure out from, the handwriting, or how they answer the questions, who did that.
But if she can't obtain insurance, then this is all moot point.
Oh, it is, absolutely. We're definitely.
Yes.
But I mean, assuming she can, I think we want to get this party started as soon as we can, and assuming that we can figure out some way of starting this, or a way of starting this, and we can name a figure in the budget that we want to spend, then if she gets insurance, we can get this, going. So, I guess what I would propose in my own mind is this is not my preferred way of doing it, but it's the safest way of doing it, is to do the HR audit, and then as long as it doesn't spend $40 million, we can go ahead and do the employee interviews. If we spent a lot more than we thought, then maybe we might have to sort of take it easy on the employee interviews. I think the employee interviews are very important. I think human resources, the main part of this is human relations. And I think, managing our most important assets in the village are our employees. And we always think of them as, I think we're always thinking about things and money and everything else, but I think our employees are the most important things we have in the village, and they can make or break us, and I think the employee interview process can help us to learn a lot in that whole scenario. So, but I mean, for money's sake, it's simpler and easier, it's safer to just let her do the nuts and bolts of the HR audit, which is looking at all the documents and procedures and policies and so on and so forth, and seeing how that matches up, and she could report on that, what we need to do, and then we can decide if we want to do the employee interview process. Does that sound make sense? Does anybody have just a figure we might want to put into the budget?
No idea much.
$110, $110 an hour. So I mean, and you know, we're talking about different projects, you know, performance evaluation has been one that's definitely been mentioned, training has been, there's a whole bunch of things.
Job descriptions.
Employee manual.
Can we put that on the agenda for the finance committee meeting on the 3rd?
Well, the finance committee, you know, finance committee is going to put a figure in there that's suggested by the board. The finance committee shouldn't be making the decision. Unless, you know, if you want us to sit there and say, okay, if we have a surplus or a deficit, and then base it on that. Because the finance committee at this time, we have no idea what's going to happen, what the budget's going to look like. We have no idea. Nor does the treasurer at this time.
We're going to come up with a list, priority list?
Yes, we could, but that's going to be, you know, I think that's going to be driven a little bit by the results of the audit. Find out what are the really things that are really good, or what are the things that are really deficient that need attention right now.
Yeah, because the audit will tell us whether or not we're federal and state and was it county compliance.
That would give us a better idea how many hours we would need, and then how much money it's going to cost. I mean,
Well, we still won't know the first part. The first part is just open-ended. Now, Sundance was by far, I think the next person was $225 an hour.
Or, yeah, or 250, something like that.
So, I mean, Sundance is the least expensive of all and the most flexible about doing this, and, you know, trying to integrate processes and, you know, trying to work on two things at one time to save us money, that's fine, but it's still going to cost money.
I make a motion we table this contract until we can have more time to think about it,
Fine.
discuss it.
The special meeting next time. Okay.
I'll second.
I have a motion to table and a second. Roll call.
Trustee LaRue.
Aye.
Trustee Gillis.
Aye.
Trustee Ivan. Trustee Killily. Trustee Kreis.
Aye.
Trustee Maskell.
Aye.
Motion to table carried.
That's all I got.
Okay. Trustee Moskell.
Yes, Mayor, I have several things. First, I'll start with a few FYIs. As a reminder, the police department is working with the DEA again this year and participating in the National Drug Take-Back Day. It will be this Saturday, April 30th, from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. in the police department. Anyone can bring any unused medications they have, and they'll be properly disposed of. Our police department is also sponsoring or participating in the annual Cop on Top benefit for Special Olympics. That's going to take place on Friday, May 20th at our Midlothian Dunkin' Donuts, starting at 5 a.m. The board should have received from me this week a copy of a draft of an RFP for audit services. If you have any comments, feel free to send those. Otherwise, I will place that on the agenda for us to discuss at the committee meeting next week. And lastly, under my business is an approval of a vacation ordinance. I believe Attorney Gleason is in possession of two agreements relative to a portion of Laverne Avenue that the board vacated last week. I would make a motion that the board approve the vacation ordinance at this time.
I have a motion.
I'll second it.
Any discussion?
Yeah, I read through the vacation agreement, and it read awkward, like we had to pay the other parties instead of them paying us to do the work.
They both paid you the amount set forth in the agreements approved by the board last meeting. We have checks from both of them.
It just read like.
No, you don't pay them, they pay you.
I get it, I know that, that's what we discuss all the time, but the way you read it said.
I actually had the same concern, but it was, that was the note I made. It almost said,
The village will agree to vacate the property and pay.
he has agreed, and pay an agreed amount sum, instead of designating who the parties are that were going to
Yeah,
pay
just
the
has
agreed
to
amount
pay it,
side.
yeah.
But I just thought that would have made it clear. Those were the same comments I had as I read through it.
You can amend it on space.
So that one would be the shafts, and then that one would be the fairways, correct? Right.
So, in the whereas, so you're just amending on space. And make clear that the shafts are making the payments and the fairways are making the payments to the village. So that's the intent. We can just amend it on space.
Do you agree that it reads the whole book?
Yeah.
Thank you.
A lot of lawyers look at it.
Thank you.
Okay, I have a motion and a second.
You see it to amend his motion?
Ask to amend your motion.
I will amend my motion to approve the ordinance as corrected on its face.
I'll second it.
Roll call.
Trustee Masko.
Aye.
Trustee Ivan.
Aye.
Trustee Gillis.
Aye.
Trustee Killily.
Aye.
Trustee Kreis.
Aye.
Trustee LaRue.
Aye.
Motion carried.
That's all I have to
Go on to department heads. Chief Kaufman, do you have anything?
Just to add to Trustee Mosco's business, Special Olympics, May 20th, the police department is selling T-shirts, hats, pins, other items for donations to go towards the Cop on Top Special Olympics. So if anybody wants to come in and make those purchases.
Is there a raffle for motorcycle?
There is. There's also raffle tickets, $10 a piece for the winner will receive a
Harley.
brand new Harley Davidson Street Club. Remember, $10 a piece. We have that one also. And that's all I have.
Okay. Chief Wagner?
Yeah, just a couple things. So I'll let everyone know, my administrative assistant, since it's their week, looked into a problem. We have our glucose monitors for the ambulance. We're spending $250 a month on replacing strips. And they went from $30 a box up to almost $75 a box. So she looked into it and was able to find, through our supplier that we use online, a glucose company that's servicing other fire departments. And she talked to the company and they donated 6 new monitors to us. So 1 for each ambulance plus the monitors, plus 6 boxes of strips and all the solutions and cases for free. The good thing is that the strips, instead of paying $60 a box, are $12 a box. So now we're able to save a lot of money. So she's did a good job, and I told her thanks, but I figured everybody know that we're always looking for ways to save money. It's going to save us a lot of money. Second thing is we had a resident come in today and donate a washer and dryer. Actually, the one at Station 2 is falling apart, and we're looking at trying to find one, but the problem is it's small, and we only have a small area to fit it in, and this is perfect, worked out. So they donated them, we're going to put them down there. That's all.
Okay, thank you. Superintendent Barry?
Yeah, I got a few updates. Last Friday, we finished up and submitted our 2016 CDBG grant application for $400,000 for capital improvements. I'd like to thank Jeff Koza here and Kristen Ramirez. They were a great help to me. We got that on time. I think it was a strong application, and I'm hoping that we are successful. The Cicero Avenue water main replacement project is currently underway. Should have all the water main installed by hopefully Friday, but if not, the beginning of this week. They'll be charging the main, pressure testing, and chlorinating it next week. Hopefully the new main will be online by the following week. I spent the day with MWRD's consultants, Burns and McDonald, walking Natalie Creek today, just looking at all their options on bank stabilization. They were just picking my brain, and we were going through different ideas, and pretty good meeting. On our walk, we discovered a major blockage of the creek between Kilpatrick and Cicero. So I notified MWRD Small Streams Maintenance Department, and they said they would be out tomorrow to address it. The Grade A Lodge air conditioning, hope that's done today. It's not done today? They said he might have to go into tomorrow?
It's not, I just know it's not done as of this afternoon.
Yeah, he told me he was maybe gonna work late tonight to finish the 4th unit. I didn't have a chance to get over there today because I was stuck in something else. But it should be done tomorrow. They had 1 unit left. And good news is a couple things that were going wrong over the years. It was freezing up because there's no ventilation in there, so people leave the air on, and then it's 50 degrees out there, freezing up. So he put some thermostats up on the roof units. So if it gets under a certain temperature, they'll automatically shut off. Also, he put a drip pan underneath each unit so that when their water starts coming down and go in there, there's a sensor that'll shut them off. So hopefully we'll avoid those frustrations in the future.
Thank you.
The last thing I had, I know it's kind of last minute, but there's a welding course that I wanted to send one of our employees to, and it's kind of a last minute thing. But Gary, you know, you're union. Welders are expensive, and our 2 guys that knew how to weld are gone. So I wanted to get permission to send Mike Quinn. I mean, you don't have to do it tonight, but I just wanted to let the board know because there's not a lot of time. It's $525 for the course for 40 hours. And I think it'll save us money. I mean, just one time hiring a welder out on the field. You know, we had the grates welded at the creek, it cost probably $2,000. So this is, I think, money well spent.
Right.
The course is through SSMMA, and it's at Thornton Community College. I actually went and visited the girl that's going to be teaching it, and it looks like a great thing.
When is it, Joe?
I think the course is May 23rd. I just got the email today. That's why it's last minute information, but they're only going to take so many people, so I want to kind of rush this through. It's just training. And that's all I have.
Okay, thank you. Superintendent DeSimone?
Nothing to report at this time.
Thank you. Engineer Koza?
2 things I'm still working on, the NFT street resurfacing bids, or bid specifications. That includes the 2016 road program and the green infrastructure implementation. Kind of piggybacking on that, we had the ADOT bid opening for 144th and 149th Street. Those bids came in incredibly well under estimate. Same contractor as well, same contractor at Iroquois Paving who did the project last fall for us, so very happy with those results. That was it.
Thank you. Treasurer Breton? Thank you. Okay, under my business, I would like to make the appointment of Sandy Crowley to the chairman of the Technology Committee. And also, I would like to make the appointment of Barb Killelly to the chairman of the Beautification Committee, so those 2 are both taken care of. Trustees, I provided you last week with 5 different bond council recommendations. I sent you the email that I got from John George explaining why he says we need to have bond council. I don't know if any of you have a preference to which bond council. I would probably recommend the lowest bid, which was ran at $3.25 an hour. I can't remember which firm that was. I don't know how to say it. It's a lot of names. Katsarillas. It was like 6 names. And, but I feel like any one of them is more than qualified to handle this and represent us so we can finish up this 14 audit sooner than later.
Do they anticipate how many hours they're going to need?
All the firms said it would take about 20 hours to provide the letter to the auditor that they're looking for.
I guess the question I have is, the board didn't know about this until we saw this memo. And this, I guess, according to what was sent to us, this was recommended by John George back in July of 2015.
He did recommend it, and I told him I wasn't going to pay for any more bond counsel until we needed it. And he said he never made it an issue until we met just last week when I brought you we had to have that bond counsel. That's when he told us on the phone, when we had the conference call, that he would not complete the audit. He never once alluded that he would not complete the audit without us having bond counsel until this past Monday.
Trustee Moskowitz would you be willing to, or trustee Maskell or Killily, I don't know, should somebody vet these firms or do?
I take it, I mean, I should have already, but I mean, I guess they've been recommended people who do their work, but, you know, this is a big thing for the village of Midlothian, so we want not only the cheapest, but people who have had a lot of experience with matters like this. So, I mean, I'd like to check and see what kind of work they've done, if they've done this kind of work for other towns or municipalities or school districts or whatever it is.
Okay.
And then
Next
next week, we can,
You'll have a
look at it.
recommendation? All right.
Did you provide contact?
Yeah, I provided the contact information in the email.
Yes.
Yeah.
If-
All the names.
All these guys have, this is what they do.
Attorney Lacy, I'm just gonna ask, are you familiar with any firms or?
I'm familiar with all of them. One of the firms, I mean, some of these are some of the premier law firms in the city of Chicago. Schiff Hardin, I believe, is one that's on there.
Who's the most expensive?
Reber Tower is on there, it's another major law firm, this is what they do. Then they have specialized divisions of what they do, and Cutzerillos, the guys that do this, they are former United States attorneys, assistant United States attorneys that deal with the SEC and the IRS quite a bit, so I have experience with those particular gentlemen as well. So these folks are all qualified. I think if you look into it, you'll find that they're all well qualified.
So I shouldn't bother? Or?
No, you can. I mean, you gotta feel who you're most comfortable with. But I'm telling you, from a professional level, these are all very competent attorneys.
I'm just gonna ask if they're in a situation, if they've done a lot of work like this situation, and that's all. I'm gonna shut up and say goodbye.
Not one of them, when I called them to get their prices, not one of them seemed to think that this was out of the ordinary, like they've dealt with this numerous times before.
Okay.
You know, so I mean, it is.
If the lowest price person says that, and then stop paying up and then call it.
There you go, there you go. Okay, so I'll have that on the agenda for next week then. And then trustees, I'd be looking for the approval to amend the RDA for a 1-month extension for drive time so they can have their due diligence.
I guess my concern is, why do they need another month? They've had almost 3 months. And I don't know if any of the other board members have that same concern.
Did they say why they needed a 30 days?
They just, when they got the concerns about the EPA studies, phase 1, phase 2, that's all. And I don't know if that's strictly because they're from Arizona and not from the Chicagoland area, I don't know.
That's really, that bothers me, because we have our environmental consultants, and
And I provided the information to them.
You've given them Peter's phone number?
Yes, I got it from the front office today, so when you sent me the email, I thought that was an excellent suggestion. So I gave him Peter Camrose's information for Weaver Foods and said that we might want to talk to them direct.
Yeah, I wish I would have known about this before, so that we could have expedited this, because that's why we have the environmental consultants. And again, all of their services are covered by the grant, and I will call Peter to make him aware of this. I'd like to be kept in the loop, since I am the project manager for this grant. I will reach out to Peter tomorrow. I also have been contacted by one of the other parties. As a matter of fact, I've had a number of emails this week from S&M Auto about that property. They know we have not closed, and does the board also want to get their financials and start having that as another option? And I don't know what the board's preference is. Granting the 30-day extension, simultaneously start working with this other developer in the event that the drive time, something happens with the drive time development.
I think it's a good idea. Over the course of the last 12, 13 years, we have many different names come in and out. So to have a backup plan, I don't think it hurt us. We grant the extension for 1 month and in the process, we get their financials in order and have a plan B if needed.
They said they would provide, their financial, they would provide a statement of financial capacity from their bank, so,
And they're interested in the same amount of acreage.
when they contacted me, when their developer contacted me again this week, he said, I thought that the board's wish was to develop both the Dodge and the Chrysler property simultaneously, not to split it. And he indicated that that was agreeable, but I didn't want to make any commitment till I ran it by the board.
Karen, did that include the used car lot also, or just?
No, did not, it would just include the two contiguous pieces.
Can I just ask, why does the amendment to the redevelopment agreement say landlord, village of Midlothian, and tenant drive time for purchasing it? What is that? It does say in the agreement that they're purchasing it, but I'm not sure why.
I think the footer on the document says lease too.
This one says seller and buyer.
One we guess says amendment dated April blank 2016, landlord, tenant drive time and the property.
They had sent over a lease proposal that that the board wasn't going to.
Right, and I didn't think I sent him the lease approval, I thought I just sent you.
In the amendment agreement, it does say seller and buyer, but just on the header, it says landlord and tenant.
Here. Did you say something?
Yeah, the signature page is, has a lease.
And the footer on the bottom said lease amendment.
Oh,
Language refers to.
oh, I
seller.
understand where he's saying here.
Oh.
I don't know. I can have that corrected to be buyer seller. Yeah, because clearly in the wording of the agreement, they
Says
say
seller.
buyer seller. Yeah. Okay, so I'd be looking for the approval of this amendment to the RDA with the corrections of buyer and seller in the headers.
I'll make the motion.
A second.
Roll call?
What about the footer?
That's just their, how they drafted the agreement.
Why not?
Yeah, cross it out. That's just when their attorneys or whoever drafted it, so they
Yes, they
saved
named
it,
it.
they put it at the bottom. That's all it is.
Okay, I have a motion and a second.
Trustee LaRue?
Aye.
Trustee Gillis?
Aye.
Trustee Ivan?
Meh.
Trustee Killily? Trustee Kreis?
Aye.
Trustee Masko?
Aye.
Motion carried.
I have one more question. Attorney Gleason, this other, the other developer asked for a copy of this RDA. I'm sure it's foilable. Can I just go ahead and send him a copy of the RDA we have with drive time? They do sound serious. Okay.
Is there anything under clerk's business?
Yes, I do. I have a block party application for 144th Street and Keeler for August 13th, 2016 for 3 p.m. Family will monitor their own guests and behavior. Good community block. It's from Michelle Elon, Alicia Mariscal, and Melissa Petkunis. So they're looking for approval for block party. And that's all I have.
Okay, and then you'll have the ordinances for the next meeting on
Yes.
next Wednesday.
Yes.
Okay. All right. With no further business to come before the board this evening at 8:09 p.m., I'd be looking for a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We're adjourned.